big advantages of being in this profession of a journalist or an editor is the fact that you get to meet up close and personal with absolutely iconic thought leaders who, through their razor-like focus, tenacity, resilience, have changed the game around us. Today, we have the privilege and the honor of meeting up with one such in full protein form, Salman Ahmed, founder of PriME Entertainment. Welcome to CTOX by BrandKnew. Welcome to the show, Salman. Thank you for doing this for us.
Thank you for having me with you.
My pleasure. As I say, let's begin at the beginning, Salman. I'm very, very curious to know about your growing up years, your childhood memories, the kind of inspiration you had.
Growing up years, yet to begin.
Ah, that's lovely. Yeah.
Extremely fortunate. And the reasons I say that, my dear father, of course, parents is father and mother, in my case as well. But I fondly remember my dear father, and I think starting with him would be the right thing for me to do. He remains to be my inspiration till date. He passed away in 1985, and I was just commencing my teens at that time. And whatever I have inspired to be is him, maybe not a fraction as well now. And I was very close to him. And I think losing my father at that age, where you really, one needs your parents, doesn't matter how old we are or how old they are. I think that was not just a turning point. You don't know where you are anymore. And the sort of life we were blessed to have with him, and then not having him in particular, it's like literally, your world just is not there
Gives
any
away.
longer. It gives away, and that is the inspiration. I don't say was the inspiration, because that till date is the inspiration. And my dear father was diabetic. He lost his eyes for about last year and a half and two of his life before he passed away. And seeing him literally, of the strength he had, how he would still work. I mean, if I didn't tell you he was blind, you would not know he's blind. His dressing up, his suits, his detail. If his belt was crocodile, his shoes had to be crocodile, his glasses case had to be crocodile, his, so that is the inspiration I live with. That having, because, being blind, you could actually give up life so easily. It's so difficult. He was a globetrotter. His businesses were diverse in different parts of the world. It didn't stop him traveling. I still remember. I'm sorry, I've gone a bit more on the personal side, because I think it's very important to know where the inspiration exists.
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
It's an inspiration which exists in my mind, and so that is why, when something's not happening, no means next opportunity. And when things don't go right, yes, failures in any aspect of life, be it personal or business, are not easy at times to accept. But I think in my case, that loss of losing, a parent at that age and time, with whom I especially was very close, there cannot be a bigger loss anymore. So a little while ago, I shared with you that I at times, loss does not really make me think why it has happened. But gaining, I at times get frightened. My God, why am I winning? Why is there profit? So I think it's more of a psychological thing within myself. Losing is a part of life. And I think many things I do, a lot of my colleagues and associates, they can't relate to me that why do you do something when you know you're going to lose? I said, well, the Oxford Dictionary has profit stroke loss. There is happiness stroke sadness. And I think as human beings, we only want to look at the upside of life. Whereas in my case as Salman, both are aspects of life.
Lovely.
So my growing up, answering your question, I just deviated a bit. Growing up, I was born in London. I then spent, just before my teens as well, I then was living in the region. And so I've been in the region since about 77. I have seen this beautiful city when there was nothing but. We'll come back to that later, to how commendable it is. So growing up has been wonderful, because seeing one aspect of life to seeing the hardships, the challenges. So that's why I said the growing up was yet to begin.
Absolutely. Beautiful answer. In fact, so just to summarize that tangentially responded but beautifully articulated response is that you graduated from the university where your father, Mr. Ahmed Senior, was the dean and wrote the curriculum.
Absolutely, till date.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very, very tempted to ask, what actually attracted you to the field of entertainment? And knowing you and having the privilege of knowing you for the last couple of years, I know it cannot be purely commercial, and you obviously have rationalized it in the early conversation as well. What is the love? Was it the love, the arc lights? Was it the opportunity to wow audiences? What is the trigger that actually made you start something like PME Entertainment?
Opening my eyes and hearing a lot of music, which is what my family, my father in particular, was very fond of. So music was a very important essence of our life. When we were living previously, growing up in Muscat, I still recall that every month our household was the place where these mehfils used to happen. Every month. And friends, would all gather, dinner. It used to be Friday off. I think still there is Fridays there. So Thursday nights, you'd have guest friends all over with them. So grown up in that environment. And then music was always a very important part of our family life. And I also personally always, music was a mean of really loving something in life. So I think that's where it was from. And then in 1986, having lost a father, not having the privileges which we used to while we were in this region, having to come back to cold winters of London, not knowing where to start, how to start, BBC TV used to have a program called Network East, sorry. I think it was Network East, or one of the programs which used to come weekly. No social media, no online platforms at that time. So I still remember I was watching the TV on a weekend, and so at that time in United Kingdom, I would say, not just London, Bhangra had just come in from nowhere, where a lot of these Punjabi singers, folk singers, was like there was a burst, and from London would have the singers, Birmingham, Manchester, Coventry, and that music just came in as a sense of belonging for the British Asians. So I was watching the TV, and it showed about 2,000 people at a nightclub, and average was about £20.
At that time.
At that time. So I said, yeah, £40,000 one night, because I was very involved, when I was studying in Muscat at the Indian school. I remember Mr. Lobo and Mrs. Lobo very fondly. Mr. Lobo was the principal, and Mrs. Lobo was our head teacher in our class. So there used to be debates, there used to be dramas. I still remember I was part of a Qawwali entourage. There used to be Amjad Farid Sabri Qawwals. And, they were all Pearly Pulse.
Sabri brothers?
Yeah, Sabri brothers, yes. So my part was only where, I used to be extremely chubby, long hair, and all I had to say was Allah. There's a part in that Qawwali, that was my part. So, talking about, so music is life.
God heard you.
God did, very much, absolutely.
So, amidst all the chaos in the entertainment industry where everybody is full on energy, high on energy, and you have to make sure that everything goes well on time, everything is coordinated well, how do you maintain your calm?
I'm calm when I need to be. I am chaos within myself when I have to be. I think, it's what you want it to be. I heard an interview of Amir Khan Saab, I don't know where. He says the art in doing something is not when things are going right. The art is when things are going wrong.
Very true.
You know, I've had situations where the doors are to open at 5 o'clock, the show is to start at 7. The main artist is at the venue. I think few years back there was, that in Europe it happened, and some ashes or something in the cloud.
Volcano eruption and
Volcano
ash.
eruption, exactly.
Flights got disrupted.
We had 18 musicians flying out of Istanbul to land into Toronto. So the main artist arrived the night before, but then the connecting flights were missed. And here is a sold out show with about plus minus 10,000 people. And we haven't even told the main artist that his musicians are up in the air and not arriving.
Literally.
Literally, So there cannot be something more difficult than that. So he's come for sound check. And we said, how do we break the news to him? We were hoping somehow. So even, the flight arrived at about 7 p.m. The doors are opening at 7. And the immigration process when you go, especially to the US or Canada. And of course, we revealed to the artist, he's by himself now, doesn't even have his own harmonium. Moral of the story is, we then say, how can we scout for people and talent where we can at least start the show? And I take this great pride in saying 8 p.m. means 8 p.m. You must have seen that with our shows. 9 p.m. means 9 p.m. So here is somebody who's really proud about starting on time and here. So the show happened. Whatever said and done, we started it. By the time the main musicians came was after the break. And we extended the hours of the show. But moral of the story is, got it done. I think nothing was more difficult than that. And things happen, but you've got to manage them. And I think the thrill of being in live business, if I really wanted to do something to make genuine money and be resourceful, I would definitely not be in this business. The challenge of seeing those 2 to 5 to 10 to 20,000 people enjoy their emotions, their feelings, their tears, their laughters, people looking at each other with so much love, whether it's couples, whether it's elders, whether it's a son.
Gathering.
Exactly, those are being part of that festivity where you can share emotions with people. Money can't buy this.
That drives you.
That is my kick, is the right word to say. It genuinely is.
So you have huge deposits of happiness as your takeaway.
I believe so, because just 2 days ago I celebrated the first birthday of my little angel, Lania. And that to me is a blessing. That to me is a reward at this aspect of life, where you can once again experience that sort of happiness. I also understand in today's world the bank balance, how much gold you may have, how much wealth you may have, how much of houses you may have is of course an important aspect. But for me, family, friends, people who love me and I love them, us being healthy and happy is probably my biggest wealth, which I always want to have.
Knowingly or unknowingly, you already have a wellness mindset, which is a new thing now, and people are trying to adapt to that. I feel that you already have that inbuilt.
I was very honored is the word I would use. I just wouldn't say privileged.
All these things that you've been talking since the start of the interview, it's all aligned to wellness, consciously or subconsciously.
Sure. So I would say subconsciously, because
That is the reason why it becomes more powerful.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
can relate to it
So,
probably. Yeah.
December the 9th, I had, again, I was
It was a beautiful event, let me tell you.
honored
Beautiful.
Sadhguru,
We were a part of it.
right? And good Salman, 16-year-old who commenced this journey, have ever thought that a human as pious and as pure as Sadhguru, I could have had the honor of not just meeting him, speaking to him, sitting with him. Now, if this is not blessing, what else is? September the 8th, before taking that name, my hands together for Asha Bosley ji. Her 90th birthday. I, get more than emotional, sensitive whenever I speak about Asha ji, because the experience I had, and I want to thank Anand Bhosle, her son, for enabling this to happen. We had lots of discussions. When I got to know that it's her 90th birthday and it's September the 8th, the first thing I did was I checked Coca-Cola Arena if it's available or not. And it was available. So I said to Anand Bhosle, I said, please, I want all of us to be part of this memorable occasion. 90 is not an age which comes all the time, unless I'm wrong. And then on top of that, knowing that Asha ji is going to perform. So all the audiences who came, I won't say it was justified or not justified, because whoever loved her came. Jackie Shroff flew in, Poonam Dhalam flew in, Padma Nicola Puri flew in, Sachin Tendulkar ji's daughter flew in because they are friends with Zanai, the granddaughter of.
She performed as well.
Yes, of course. Zanai Bhosle, she performed. And the experience of. Asha ji came a week before. This is a 90-year-old. She came because she said, I wanted to do my rehearsals. She says, take me wherever you want, do whatever PR activities for people to know I'm here. Value we don't see today, unfortunately. You're talking about a 90-year-old.
This kind of zest, if people have, there'll be no depression.
And exactly. She still cooks, still 5 o'clock riyas in the morning. And she said, aap log ke liye, aap mere agli baar ghar aayega, I'll cook. So inspiring, Suresh, and more so ever that I say this is such a blessing with what I do, because people just think हम नाच गाना करते हैं. The reality of where I'm
Poor way of trivializing it.
नहीं, but है ना. देखिए, ऐसे बैठे हो, लोग समझते हैं कि आप कहीं लॉ फर्म में काम करते हो, कोई कहता है बैंकर है, कुछ कहते हैं, फिर वो जो कहते हैं अच्छा लिटरली अच्छा शोबिज में है, like something that derogatory, it's only because probably a lot of people's values may not be where I come from.
Your clientele is all the corporates working in the UAE, let me tell you.
But I'm talking about a general consensus of people. Till date, however Hollywood is, doing whatever it is doing, the Indian film fraternity and the music, I refrain from Bollywood because I also remember Mr. Bachchan saying he doesn't like the word Bollywood. Yes. As much as it has become a norm now.
And he says,
why do we have to copy Hollywood? Wherever I can, I try and refrain as much as it is.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So,
correcting.
I think also it doesn't bother to me what someone thinks, what I do, how I do, till what I'm doing is not wrong. Till what I'm doing.
It's a wellness attribute. As a wellness coach, I feel all these are wellness attributes.
Yeah.
Because, hardships
also make you learn a lot of great things. People say that, look at this actor, or look, this is singer, this backing they had. Look at Shah Rukh Khan, came from no background, from no family. And वो कौन सा आपकी अदालत आता है ना?
Rajat Sharma.
Kinka?
Rajat
Sharma. So, reels keep coming. As much as I'm not much Instagram person, but I think a reel came and I watched it. So he asked him, he says कि आप जब 22 साल पहले आए थे, तो किसी ने ऑडियंस में कहा था कि आप शायद अमिताभ बच्चन जी से ज़्यादा पॉपुलर हैं. तो he smiled and said कि शायद लोगों को समझ नहीं आती, बट आजकल तो पूरी दुनिया ये कहती है. So the way he said it, again, I think humble backgrounds, humble beginnings, and today surviving in the business which I've chosen to be in is not simple at all, because there's a lot of people who
can say that again and again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I really wanted to do something in life to achieve something, I wouldn't be doing this. That's for sure.
So, do you follow any wellness routine or any mantra that you swear by? it has been from the starting, or it's been changing over the years as time, country, location? Anything that you swear by when it comes to wellness?
I don't know if it is wellness. I sleep as early as I can and I rise as early as I can.
It's the biggest, it's a foundation of wellness. Anything related to wellness starts from
Good
sleep.
sleep and good
I
sunlight.
think if my relationships and if my personal circumstances have gone wrong is only because this mantra of mine is not too friendly. At times I fall asleep at 7. Few days back I slept at 7 p.m. by the way.
So what time do you generate? So 7 days out of 6 on 7 days, what time do you sleep?
I am somebody who must sleep by 10 p.m.
You go to bed by 10, or you're in deep sleep by 10?
I must be in deep sleep by 10. And I'm a 5 a.m. riser.
Sunrise.
5 a.m., 6 pushing to suppose, if I've ever gone to that 11 to, so beyond 6 I can't, I will not sleep. Not I can't, I will not sleep.
Body clock will not permit it.
It is, I must get up and, and I have my angel in the morning nowadays. That 1 hour with her is my wellness, therapy,
Pastime.
you name it. That 1 hour I
Detox.
get, oh God, it's everything. And I look forward to it every morning.
And it's very contrary to the business that you are. People are awake in the night, sleep all day. In the business that you are, it's a
But they have work to do at night, no? They have singing to do, they have music to do, they have shows to do. What do I have to do at night? Again, that happens is when you go out. That happens when you have activities which need you to be out. I mean, I'm in the best city if that's the case. But again, it's a conscious choice. You know, where we are sitting right now is our little world. Many a times I say to my wife, I look out and I say, "Arey yaar, we're in Dubai, ke wo Burj Khalifa dekh ke." Because to me, airport, house, office,
it's your world.
And the arenas.
and the Coca-Cola Arena a few minutes away, that's the world. Of course, we were very lucky. We host a lot of guests. We host a lot of friends. We have families coming. So we're a household who don't believe that if we're calling somebody that we'll take them out for food, we'll make the effort and we want to be at home in hosting our guests and our friends and families.
And how much has this helped you, do you feel, when you look around where people are sleep deprived, they're going off their emotions, they're having pills for having such basic needs? How do you feel this has helped you? Do you feel that sleeping on time and has helped you work wise, professionally, balancing out your emotions? You think it consciously makes a difference? Have you felt the difference?
See, I don't know the difference because I've not seen the other side.
Okay.
While being awake, and see, I'm also a person who's worked 72 hours. Like I've done a lot of work in North America. I love driving, especially when the music's on. So one day I remember I was in Miami and I had to go to New York. Flight's only about 2.5 hours, 2 hours 45. I said, "Gaadi chala ke jate." You cross through Atlanta, you cross through all of that. And for me, again, challenges. I love challenging myself. So somebody said, "Yeah, it's 18 hours." Somebody said 24 hours. I said, "Dekhi jayegi." It was 6. Just touch under 17 or 18 hours, I arrived in New York. It was an interesting drive. So I think, answering your question, if I have to be awake, I will be awake. But if I don't have to be, then
Sleep is what you choose over the.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, how do you derive your positive energy? Where do you gather your energy? Is it intrinsic? You gather it from external environment, or from people, from books, from your own energy? How do you derive that positive energy to have such, you know, visions for your company and your work? It requires a vision.
I luckily don't need to gather anything. It's within me. It's who I am. I also don't know I have it or not, but that's me. So whether you say it's derives from here, there, or देखें, सोचना जब पड़ता है ना, you have to think about this, or for me to answer you, I have to think about it if it was coming from somewhere. It is who I am. I never think I'm being negative, positive, or between the two. I'm just being me. I'm being Salman, that's it.
Very authentic. It's just you.
It is me. So that's why I'm not having to think because I don't gather this from anywhere. It's who I am.
You have a very strong positive aura around you. So I mean, there are people who do things to, radiate that kind of energy. It's nice to know that it comes from the core.
Perhaps. Again, I don't know.
So we are aware about all the philanthropic work that you do. Does that keep you humble and grounded? Is that the reason of doing it?
You should not have known this. How did you get to know? First of all, I need to know.
I have researched about you today.
But your reason, they say, आपके
By heart and
बाएं के दाएं का नहीं पता चलने चाहिए. So, again, that's between me, and I'm not saying it's anything wrong you've done. Very kind of you. I don't like. I just want to. Nike का क्या है? What is the?
just do it.
Bus.
You're attached with very nice organizations that.
Absolutely, but I do this. Like I'll pick up the phone to my privileged friends and I'll say, I want you to write a check of XYZ amount. And I'm not asking them, I'm telling them.
It's not a request.
It's not a request. What I'm saying is, if a lot of people who do it now can continue doing things without anybody knowing, world will definitely be a much better place. Because see, there's a lot of people who are needy out there. And I think the best guilt people fulfill who live abroad from their respective countries, doesn't matter which part of the world you belong from. See, giving away money and thinking we've done charity or good, but knowing that the money or the resources you've given are going to the right place and for the right purpose is more important. So whatever attachments I've had, like I'm, again, very honored to be a vice president at Barnardo's, is the largest children's charity of United Kingdom. They raise plus minus $300 million, 300 million pounds a year. I don't know if it's more or less now. And you think that because it's a developed world, and you think because it is a country, you don't have poverty, you don't have underprivileged children, don't you have people with challenges, and mental well-being. We were talking about well-being before. Mental well-being has become such an important aspect of people's lives.
Need of the hour.
Need of the hour, Then I'm one of the founding circle members of the British Asian Trust.
I saw that.
Where King Charles is the patron. And we've seen the devotion and the way he is literally, how close this trust is to him. Many other aspects of charity are as well, but this in particular, I've literally seen this grow. And again, who does it support? Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. That's where the resources and monies are gone. Then again, I was in Pune a few months back, Mukul Mahadev Foundation, Ritu Chhabria ji. It's a hospital we went to in Pune. I can't recall the name, but trust me on this, the ward we went into had these babies who are born immediately and do not have oxygen, may not live for even an hour. And the cost of each child in there or baby in there is about 1 lakh rupees a day to keep them alive and survive to the point that they can go back to being normal humans. And being able to be part of this, the more I look at my children each day, the more I look at my little one now, and I say how blessed we are. Because, I also choose to see the other side of people not being privileged, whether it's education, whether it's food.
Basic health.
The basic, health is the first thing.
Basics are not met.
Basics are not more than met. They're not privileged even to have normal basic necessities.
You having that thought, I think, is one reason you're so grounded and humble. This kind of thought only is quite powerful to have.
Just to probably kind of look at it from another angle, N. Chandra, not of Tezab director fame, but is the head honcho of the multi-billion Tata group. So he had this vision of when he took over.
By the way, my mind only went to Tezab, I'll be honest to you.
That's fine.
So thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, thanks.
1, 2, 3 started in my background.
Exactly. So you mentioned that it's fitness first, performance next, direction first, velocity next. Okay, and very simply, I mean, multi-million group, you need to kind of simplify matters, right? With so many different companies and whatever it is. How would you kind of, take something like that, into your own scheme of things? Do you ally with something like that?
I will share something which is more of a secret about me. But I hope not many people will watch this. If they do as well, I don't think. That's one thing I don't do in life. I just get to the moment and I do it. So why I get inspired, what inspires me, why do I say something, why do I do something? In a complex world, I have a simplified mind. I live with my heart, brainless by birth. Why I say brainless? Because many decisions of my life I would not have done and taken if I just lived with my mind. And that brings something called heart to heart. I'm actually coming out with very soon. Because I think दिल जो है ना, पूरी कायनात, पूरी दुनिया, आप शेर व शायरी बोलें, आप प्यार की बातें बोलें, आप रोमांस बोलें, अच्छी चीज़ें सब दिल की वजह से होती हैं. प्रॉब्लम दिमाग लेके आता है. I understand without the two you can't do. But I am a person. I won't say I'm more a person. And of course, you also pay the price of thinking and living with your heart. So answering your question, in all honesty, I don't go deep into if this, why, when, what.
Yeah, but actually, what you've touched upon is probably very profound. And the reason I interpret it that way is because most of the world now, especially after Simon Sinek's book, start with why. Everybody's asking why. Then the next domino effect is the analysis paralysis. You're following your gut, you're following your heart, and therefore there is immense amount of emotion and passion that you bring into everything that you're doing, without the destination being very clear, or without the promise of a reward that you're expecting. So that becomes very natural for you, and that is where, as Richa mentioned earlier, I mean, there seems to be this intrinsic energy that is flowing, which you're not very conscious about, but it is all the more reason for you to be kind of, you're getting rejuvenated automatically. You're getting rejuvenated automatically, and it is, again, I would say it's a blessing, not because of anything else, because a lot of people are actually paying top dollars to kind of get into that stage.
Yeah, you have it from the core.
Getting from external sources, whatever it is, and you're intrinsic. It is within, and it comes naturally. You're not even aware of it. You know what I mean? So the last thing you're doing is coming in your own way.
Perhaps. Again, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's some summary of it. I mean, it's like they say, I mean, you could be a marathon champion or a chess grandmaster, and you can combine both together. Okay.
Maybe.
So, what are your 3 points to maintain physical health, mental health, and personal health? 3 main things that you've done that has worked for you.
Physical, I haven't been good so far.
No, you're very good.
No, I haven't been though.
These are genetics. These are genes.
No.
Then
Being happy, maybe, maybe being happy.
Happy may people.
No, being happy in your personal life has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
A motivating life partner, extremely important. And being truthful to yourself, I think,
Personal health, key point.
very important.
Physical health.
I think this was more on the physical side than personal, what I just shared with you.
Okay. What about your professional health?
Professional health,
Mental health,
keep trying. See, failure and success, there are no guarantees to this. There's no formula which says you'll succeed or you'll fail. But even if you fail and you've tried, you feel good.
No regret, no baggage.
देखिए, there's a saying ना, क्या लेके आए थे क्या लेके जाएंगे. अच्छा, many things are heard and said but never believed in. How we're born in that white bed sheet, we die in that white bed sheet. That reminds me, I always wanted to open I think still not a bad idea. I wanted to open not a club but a lounge called Bed, B-E-D, Bed. And the tagline would be, life begins and ends in bed.
Quite innovative.
But that is true, na? Once you're born, you come to a bed, जाते हुए भी bed.
कुछ नहीं लेके जाते, कुछ नहीं लेके आते.
So, but truth is this, in between is this beautiful, I believe whatever race, caste, religion we are, we bring trauma to ourselves. God, वो कहते हैं ना, ऊपर वाले ने ऐसा क्यों किया? ऊपर वाला तो अच्छा ही करता है. देखें, once we are born, it is then our choice and our decisions of life, whether it's good or bad. So I think God cannot think and do wrong to us as human beings. It's our conscious choices and decisions.
And complex mind, overly complex mind.
I don't know what that looks like, but I just think be good, not try and be good. It's either black or white. It's not in between.
In fact, I think that's a beautiful concept. The thing about bed that you mentioned, that could be the future bedrock of your enterprise or your, future vision, whatever it is.
नहीं करंट बनाएंगे अभी आप जगह ढूंढते हैं क्या बेड ही तो डाल हैं उसमें व्हाइट कलर के and stuff like this will work. Music आगे देखें wherever I go and I listen to a lot of world music. I listen to every language, every genre. I mean, you name it. To me, music is not only our music. Music is
No boundaries.
No boundaries.
What are the some activities that you engage to train your mind for personal growth?
Wrong person you're asking to, because I don't train myself for anything.
So that actually prompts us to the next question. Because I think you're a brand ambassador for gut instinct.
Yeah.
Following your gut instinct. You're a supreme brand ambassador following your brand. I'm sure you're not looking at 18 sheets of Excel sheet and then you're taking a decision. You go by gut instinct.
Didn't go to school. What do you want me to look at Excel sheets for?
No one
I think, I
think,
think, and again, not being disrespectful to very qualified and educated people like yourselves, I chose not to go to school.
You didn't miss anything in life. We're doing something absolutely.
You've written your own curriculum.
Yeah, you've written your own curriculum.
When I say I chose, because I was, so engaged in doing so much. And it was very difficult to tell my mother that I don't want to study anymore. And you know how oh no, मेरा बेटा खराब हो गया, बर्बाद हो गया, मेरे बेटे ने नाम खराब कर दिया. So I've gone through all that trauma of life.
So you've learned and unlearned all by yourself and then navigated through all of this. And you know who you are, which is very important.
University of experience. I've traveled insanely. The most I did was 7 cities in 24 hours once.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
I did it.
They say, travel is the best university you can attend.
Absolutely.
It is.
Travel is the best university you can attend.
I started from, I think, 3 or 4 cities of India, and then I landed up in US, so the time zones minus, plus then what I did internal traveling. It's the best thing which I've ever done is, when you travel, you learn. You meet people, you learn. You see value system of people and you learn.
Different cultures, different ambiances, different ecosystems. Yeah.
Bridging cultures and meeting minds.
So I think you are talking wellness, you're walking wellness. You are in wellness. So it really fits well with our concept somehow.
It's basically, when others zig, he zags.
I like something that he said, yeah.
Actually, when there is a protocol, there is a format, there is a default, there is a caveat, and then all that is, you said, okay, I'll throw caution to the winds, and this is my path. Okay, which, as you said, it's subconscious GPS. Right, you're not even aware that you're doing. So I think the natural state, like they say, people, again, going back to my earlier statement about people investing top dollars and finding flow state.
Being you.
That I think, being you is probably a little more being. So, he's that, we are made as human beings. So being is the thing that you're doing actually, whereas a lot of, we are human living, human working, whereas the being is actually what you're looking at, and I'm sure it'll inspire a lot of people.
Conflict amongst people, amongst circumstances, and conflict within yourself is also a major challenge to deal with. I don't want conflict. It's like you see traffic and you look for another way to go somewhere. That's the path I want this life of mine, this current phase of my life to be. Because it's so easy to have conflict. It's so easy to, react to someone. And usually, I don't think good comes out of it.
Never.
So I had this point of asking you 3 points on mental health, but I think you answered it. You said there's no black. It's just black and it's white.
It's
There's
either
no
black.
gray.
It's black or white.
It's no gray.
No.
All your mental health issues come in the gray category. So it's already solved when you have this kind of thinking. So this question is ruled out. So how do you manage your emotions? We've already, I feel I know your
Might be
some
repetitive.
part of the answer, but how do you manage your emotions with so much going around, so much anxiety, mood swings, so many different kinds of depression, which we've never heard? The last 5 years, we've heard so many different types of depression, especially in the showbiz, where people have glamour and then high, low, high. How do you manage your emotions dealing with so many kinds of people with different ego states, emotions, different at different stages of their life? And how do you build focus? I mean, what is your theme?
I don't think. Simple. Now over, na under, na middle, na below. I generally don't think.
You're in the present moment. You're in the now.
I'm now. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll do what I have to do. That does not mean I will not forward plan about business. I'm not a very firm believer of कल क्या होगा. आज अच्छी निकल गई, कल सुबह होगा, उसकी फिर फिक्र करते हैं.
Beautiful song. कल क्या होगा किसको पता. अभी जिंदगी का ले ले मजा.
So I think this is also the reason you are having this kind of an aura, because you are in the now.
जो देखें, जो कल मैंने देखा नहीं है, मैं उसकी परवाह कर रहा हूँ. जो बीता हुआ कल है, वो जा चुका है. जो आज है, why am I being an enemy to today?
That's
Very
a
nice.
beautiful book on the same thing that, which you just put in
Learning
one
from
line.
you.
The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. The power of now.
Seriously, when some incidents happen of life,
Yeah.
they are to happen. It's either we believe in some things or we don't. अगर कुछ होना है, अच्छा या बुरा, वो क्या नहीं होता है. अगर आप, if you would have said to me in Dubai when I came 30 months ago, कि Salman, in this year you're going to have, you'll be blessed with a daughter, blah, blah, I would have said, yeah, please go to the best mental hospital. I will take you there. Right? I will help you actually. How do you even think that's possible? So I think because of what I go through and what blessings I have only reason to be grateful, thankful to the Almighty and anybody who's made it happen. In this, like I said earlier on, in this very complex so-called world which people say, I don't think it is. It's a choice you have. It's a decision we have. And a very dear friend of mine, God bless him, based in London, said, small is beautiful. However small your life will be, and that's how beautiful it will be. So that again is a mantra which I'm a very strong believer of.
Very deep.
In this big wide world and being in this beautiful city of Dubai, your life can be as you want it to be. God bless His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, from heart I'm saying. Like he says, now I've given you mosques, I've given you church, I've given you mandir, I've given you everything else. It's a choice
I've
you
given
have.
you everything. Too much I have given you.
I've given you everything of life. It's up to you.
Or you design your life.
You design your life. We're all blessed to be where we are. It's probably not. It is the most incredible city where we are right now.
So you practice gratitude every now and then. That's what I am figuring from all the
I
conversations.
personally don't do anything. If it happens, वो हो जाता
So
है.
we teach people to practice gratitude 5 minutes a day, at least, so that they're out of half their problems. So you're doing it every now and then. So it's a part of, again, it's awareness.
The other day, I think Sadhguru was talking about, his mission is 3 billion people
Yes.
and getting them to sit still for 15 minutes.
Difficult.
Because, busy is productivity. Society's tag is busy is productivity. How can you sit still for 15 minutes? Then if you're able to do that, we'll be patting ourselves on the back. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful, seemingly audacious, but I think if you're able to pull it off, we would have started to realize, the rat race, and all the typical tags that come along with living in the, as you mentioned, the complex, over complexed and over complicated by most of us world. I think we'll distill it into a far more simplified manner, and we'll be living to a better potential.
Happiness is
Within. Nobody can buy you happiness. Nobody can give you happiness. And if you can understand and realize that, that's how simple your life is actually.
What do you do for clean eating? Do you believe in, healthy eating, nutrition? Do you think food is your medicine? Or, I mean, anything that you practice from your old generation?
I have started thinking along those lines now.
Okay.
And that is what is also helping me in various aspects actually. Because you are what you eat. You look what you intake. You're a product of yourself. So yes, more than being conscious is being correct. I think that's what it is now.
You've included it in your part of your lifestyle. It's just not.
The contributions not only to me, like I said now, having a life partner who then also says to you not a good things, also shows you paths where if you make those amendments, it'll only be good for you as a person and for us as a family.
Anything that you would want to mention, that some things that you've done for your gut health has helped you?
Chose to be happy in life with a lot of difficult decisions, which a lot of people would not take at my stage and age of life. I chose it, and I'm so happy I took that decision. Be honest to yourself. That's I think is the most. Doesn't matter. Again, I say you're in friendship, you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage. If it's not going the way you want it to go, be honest to yourself. And to the person you claim and you say I love you, and you choose to be. Doesn't matter how long it's been. I think that's another lesson which I have learned and seen. Not being happy in life, it's not only about work. I think if your home and your personal life is not good, I don't think the world outside matters anymore. And to me, I think that's the biggest gift we can give to ourselves. Be honest. Difficult, because you think what society will feel. You feel what friends will feel, what family will feel. They don't sleep with you at night. They don't have the challenges with you at night. And I think that's where a lot to do with mental health comes into it. People just are so conscious what the world will think. The world doesn't think of you when you're alone. Angrezi ki kahavat hai na, laugh, the world will laugh with you. Cry, you cry alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And how difficult it may seem to be, how easy it can be if you can be honest.
So, honest is equal to happy is equal to being you, in a
The
nutshell.
answer is yes. Yeah,
Equal
All
to
leads, everything leads to each other.
absolutely. It's a domino effect, isn't it? If you're not happy within yourself, your well-being, your mental health, the way you look, the way you feel, right? It's that jigsaw, na? That the picture just
Very,
keeps.
very linear. Be honest, everything will fall in place. You will be happy.
Everything may not fall in place, but there'll be an attempt at least.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a starting point at least. So that I would say is the most
part of
important
the
aspect.
law of
Happy is equal
transitivity.
to honest is the conclusion. And my last question is, since I'm an avid practitioner of very natural things, with so much going on, in your line of industry, there are a lot of things and concentration on anti-aging, beauty, ageless body, new technologies coming each day. Are you fascinated with all of those and you keep trying, or you still believe in what mom did, what grandmom did, and use those hacks to maintain that kind of look and your personal attire? What do you opt for? There's so much on the
I
platter.
genuinely don't know what my grandmother did. I wasn't there.
All the home hacks.
My mother, I know to a certain extent. She went to a lot of beauty parlors till what I remember. She's 80 plus. She's great and very inspiring. lady, you're born for a purpose now. Age gracefully. All these things which, and again, sorry, any of you very good doctors with, if you go into Jumeirah, all you see these beauty salon clinics, sorry. Don't do this to yourself. We're meant to age. Let's age. Let's, enjoy every aspect of life. Especially what my nightmare is, going somewhere and seeing these lips go wrong.
I know.
And I say to those men out there, God bless you. You have to put up with this day and night. But it's again choice now. It's a state of mind. Why do you want to be who you are not? Why do you want to look what you were not meant to be?
And you believe in the power of living a medicine-free life?
So, if it requires, then of course I can't be. But otherwise, for these things, for looking younger, for looking this.
Even for health purposes, do you believe that?
No, essentials, yes. But none of this to keep you
Not going crazy with them.
not going anything with them.
Thank you so much.
I think that's a beautiful place to end. It was wonderful having you, and as always, very inspiring conversation. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure
Nice
to
to
meet
meet you as well.
To be able to simply be here without allowing the data to play up in your mind, it takes a lot of work. So every cell in the body carries enormous memory, and the kind of functions that it is doing is unbelievable. So it has intelligence and it has memory. Essentially, in human understanding, what we call as mind is a certain combination of memory and intelligence. So that is spread right across the system.